as I was building my wedding registry, that's when I realized how many toxins and how much garbage is in our home good product. You can put paraffin, which is derived from crude oil, into candles. Most recent publication on microplastics is that we have almost a spoonful in our brain now. And now it's being directly linked to dementia. So that's like really why I created the marketplace. We're solving for that. Like we want to get that out of the home.
Welcome to More Than the Hype, the podcast where we go beyond the surface, beyond the trends, and straight into real, unfiltered conversations about business. I'm your host, Kristin Taylor. Grab a glass of wine from KT Winery or water because moisture is important. And let's get into it because success is more than just the hype. Hi, Jaclyn.
Hello.
I'm so excited we're doing this.
I'm so excited too.
It's funny because I feel like people kept trying to get us to meet. And then
for months, maybe years even.
Like
I had heard about you for months.
And
months
then
and months.
we ran into each other at our apartment pool.
Yeah. And it was right when our friend Paige had connected us.
Yes.
Via,
it was literally
message.
like the next day.
Yeah, it was the next day. We were like, hello.
And you're like, hello? Because I never wear my glasses. And I was like, I don't know. There's this tall, willowy blonde talking to me. Who is this? And then it clicked. And ever since, I love what you're building.
Thank you so much.
Like
I love what you're building.
Oh,
so amazing.
It's been fun to collaborate with you over the last few months. And I would love you to kind of take us on the journey of SISTAIN and how, because you had a really different life before, and how you got to this point of creating this kind of safe space for women and people who want to live a better life, but without all the judgment. So can you walk me through?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So SISTAIN, it actually stands for Sisters in Sustainability, because women have 80% of all consumer buying power. So that's power to change the whole system. And we are a non-toxic, sustainable home goods marketplace. So we actually have a SISTAIN approved verification. So we do a ton of research and vet all of the brands and products that go onto our site. And the more we learn, the more we tweak our portfolio based on, there's just always new science coming out about, chemicals that people once deemed as safe and now they're not safe. So we're constantly watching that and shifting according to it. So that's what SISTAIN is today. But for how I got here, it was a long, winding journey. So I actually, the idea of SISTAIN did come to me when I got married the first time. So I am divorced now. I was building my wedding registry, and that was when I started doing my own research, and I had just begun my own sustainable journey. And that was more, my own sustainable journey was more sparked by my brother, because he lives off grid, and he lives in a
he's just tucked away.
Yeah, it is full off grid. Like they live in a 1-room cabin with 4 children, and
wow,
he's married, and they have an outhouse, and they have permaculture gardens, and it's a really, really hardcore, intense lifestyle. So as he was preaching to me about how bad plastic is and all these things, I was just starting to get more curious about well, I don't want to live that life, that's too hardcore.
You're going too far, bro. Yeah.
But I was like, there's so many consumers that want to do better and want, to live a non-toxic life. But as I, was building my wedding registry, that's when I realized how many toxins and how much garbage is in our home good products. You can really put anything into home good products and put it out there. Even when it's like candles burning, it's like you're inhaling that smoke, but you can put paraffin, which is derived from crude oil, into candles. You can put all kinds of junk, like Teflon on pans, which is absolutely toxic and linked to cancer.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that for a whole minute.
So that's when I started building my registry, was when I was planning for my long-term life, even though that didn't end up working out. But the products that I added to the registry, I still have a lot of them. Because you keep those products. You want to choose quality products. And that's when all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, this is a mess. There's no transparency in this home space.
Zero. I mean, well, big part of my passion for the wine space is to create transparency because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one, I like to chalk it up to like just America and the lack of regulating things that actually should be regulated. We spend a lot of time on other stuff. But as consumers, the stuff we touch every single day, toothpaste, the fact that kids' toothpaste is toxic is wild to me. Like, how is that even the pans that you cook on, the dishes that you microwave your things in, the glasses you drink out of.
Yeah.
The things that you touch
the furniture.
every single day.
There's chemical treatments on rugs, on mattresses are, it just, there's so much stuff that's
the laundry
just really
detergent,
horrible for you.
Lay your head there for almost half the day.
Yeah.
And there's all these things that are just meant to completely disrupt our system.
Yep.
And so I love that you built SISTAIN. So now it has manifested into this marketplace specifically, right?
Yeah.
But you, like you said, you have really intense sourcing requirements. Can you like go over those really quickly?
Yeah.
Like what you're looking for?
Yeah. So, and it turned into a marketplace specifically because I as a consumer was frustrated that you had to do all of this research. And I was like, this isn't like the average consumer isn't going to do all of this.
Right.
Like, there's just so much. I mean, one, there's greenwashing, there's marketing that is actually false, in terms of.
Can we go into greenwashing? It's to me, it's just the green version of everything pink for women. But
it's just, they're just putting like green on, natural. Like there's all these words you can use to kind of promote that something's sustainable or something's non-toxic, that are just not legally regulated terms. And it's not true. Like if you dig into it, you're like, that's actually still made of plastic, which is derived from oil or whatever it is in there. But there's tons of greenwashing today.
Yeah.
So I was just frustrated by all of that it's like, there's no real regulation around it. There's a lot of greenwashing happening. You have to do a ton of research. So as I was diving in, I was like reading like 100-page PDF guides, and I was like, this is too much for the average consumer. So this whole reason I created a marketplace was because I was like, I want to have a team that does the work, and do the research and vet these products and brands so that we can just bring the solutions to customers and consumers that are safer and that are non-toxic. And so that's like really why I created the marketplace. But the vetting process is, we're always evolving it. Like, so right now we're working with the University of Colorado on our B Corp certification. And so even with that process, we're starting to tweak our process because we're seeing more about like, how is B Corp scoring and vetting brands. And so we're like weaving some of that into it. But we do both. We do a few different things. One, we manually scrape and research data on the brand site, but then also like everything that's been written about the brand.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then we also, of course, look at all the certifications. So SISTAIN approved verification. We called it a verification because it's not another certification. There's already too many certifications out there, and you're just like, what? I don't know how to make sense of any of these. So we look at the certifications and ladder it up to, okay, this is SISTAIN approved because it has all of these things. Like check,
Right.
And then we also do send out brand surveys and then talk to our brands too about their process. And so that's what we'll continue to refine over the coming years. But we look at materials, we look at, packaging, we look at ingredients, we look at the end of life of a product. So is it compostable at the end of the life? Is it biodegradable? We look at like all of these different things to deem like, is this SISTAIN approved or not?
Right.
And so the sourcing really, like in terms of how I find products, it's a lot of emerging brands because that's the exciting thing about today is that there's so many cool brands out there that are being created in the non-toxic, home space. But it's finding those brands, and that's like where, we'll do tons of research. Some of it we find organically online, some of it we find through founders, like, because you and I are always in the entrepreneurial networks
always
and talking to people
digging.
and always digging. And then a lot of it we find through, we have creators online that are partners of ours. And so sometimes they'll be posting about these new brands that are emerging and find them through there too.
But then you get to bring them into your marketplace and make it easier for consumers to find.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not having to read 100-page PDF to learn about everything, but you can distill that down. But I'm assuming that this also has some challenges. I just assume rude comments that you've gotten from people. I assume investors, I think like, and I'm from the South, like I'm assuming old school Southern people and white dudes saying like, no one cares about that. Like,
yeah.
da, da, da. I just assume that there has to be some real anti non-toxic rhetoric that you have to deal with in building this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I would say there's even more anti on the sustainability side because
Really?
just because climate change is so big and so overwhelming.
I'm sorry to gripe. I just don't understand how people don't see that this is happening, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it was 70 degrees in Colorado yesterday. It's 36 today.
Yep.
And in Texas, it's snowing. Like, those are insane things,
yeah,
right? Like,
I mean, it's all, yes, the science is all there.
the science is there.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
That was my soapbox.
Yeah, no,
Global warming
it is
real.
wild. And a lot of people, even who believe in it, still push back on the idea of like sustainable products because it's not like, you know, we do live in an individualistic society. And so,
Right.
you know, sometimes when I'm talking to investors, if I talk about it from a sustainable lens, they're like, okay, yeah, they're saying they're going to pay more. They're not going to pay more for sustainable products. And it's actually true. Like in the data, we've seen that. And so that is, I mean, it's not just like, it's a part of the big reason that we actually prioritize non-toxic first and then sustainability. And the only thing that really changes with our marketplace and how we curate things with that priority order is that we no longer curate things that are made of recycled, you know, plastic. Because it's still plastic and you're bringing plastic into your home and you just want to get plastic out of your home entirely because at the end of the day, it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. So it doesn't change a lot of other things because mostly what's good for you is good for the planet. So it's still the same mission. But I will say, like, as we've shifted our rhetoric to non-toxic, like not only do people care more about it, like our consumers and customers, but yeah, it's also like, you know, with investors, they're also like, yeah, that's so much more important for people because it's right now. It's like individualistic. It's right now.
Right.
It's your body. It's your family. It's your baby, you know. And so whereas climate change, like, well, you know, that's going to happen.
Yeah, the earth will
we
burn,
can't control
whatever.
what China's doing. We can't control what Russia's doing. Like, it's almost just too big to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's interesting because non-alcoholic wine is the same way. It costs more money to make it, but consumers want it cheaper because there's no alcohol and but there's none of that stuff. Why isn't your stuff cheaper? I'm hoping that consumer, like having conversations like this and social and changes the mindset that just because something is cheaper doesn't mean that you should just go buy that. Like it's okay to save for something that's important, like a non-toxic part of your life, because it's going to be worth it in the end. And I think especially with endocrine disruptors, that's been a really hot topic, right? Of, okay, let's switch to this type of soap and whatnot. It's not something you see immediately. So I think it's harder to wrap your mind around, right?
Yeah.
I live in the endometriosis space, so I'm like one of those endo girlies online. So very non-endocrine disruptor. And I see the effects now after 2 years, but it took 2 years to start to see anything, right? So I assume you're also fighting that battle of people like,
for sure. Yeah.
but I can do this and use this now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think the science is becoming more and more clear every single day. Like the, you know, most recent publication on microplastics is that we have almost a spoonful in our brain now, and now it's being directly linked to dementia. And so I think in coming years, it'll also, you know, we'll see it directly linked to Alzheimer's. We'll see it directly linked to Parkinson's, like all these different diseases. And so the science is becoming more and more clear. And I think that's what we try to come back to in terms of our messaging. And then even on the site, we're doing a site revamp right now, and we're trying to weave some of that into, you know, like just the scientific facts, because you're totally right. It's like a lot of these changes, you're not, you know, if you're having like, you know, for example, with a lot of personal care products and candles and things, they can give you headaches. Teflon can even give you headaches too.
Yes, apparently there's like Teflon poisoning and you
Yeah.
have to detox from it. And that's just like if you burn your pan too high.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild. So there are certain things that, like, you know, if you do remove them, then you're going to feel it even in the next couple months. But often, if it's not an extreme case, and you're like opening your windows all the time, which I totally recommend,
Yes,
like constantly
let that air in.
open your windows like twice a day, just like get the air flowing, because the outside is way safer than your indoor environment now. So that's like one of the, and when we talk about like what problem are we solving for, it's like in 90% of dust samples that were taken from homes, like there were 1 of 10 chemicals that are linked to cancer or other diseases in 90% of dust samples. And then your baby's crawling on the carpet, inhaling that dust. Like there's just, it's in the air. It's like, and so like, that's really at the end of the day, when I come back to like, what's our ultimate mission? It's like, we're solving for that. Like we want to get that out of the home.
Well, I know I wish I like could quote this study more intentionally, but I know there was a study done around microplastics, but they couldn't find a control sample that wasn't completely contaminated with microplastics. There wasn't one substance in the earth that they had access to that didn't have microplastics
Yeah, it's
in it.
insane. It's insane. And every 10 to 15 years, our plastic, like how much plastic we consume, it doubles. And so that's the other thing that we want to shift is just, you know, one, educating people about the plastic problem and how it is affecting your health right now, like right at this moment. But then to give them alternative solutions. Because when you think about your kitchen, a lot of food storage is in plastic. You know, your sponges are made of plastic. Your dish brushes are made of plastic. You know, a lot of towels that people buy are made of polyester, which is plastic. Like there's so much plastic. There's usually plastic on your couch, usually made of polyester. So rugs are usually made of polyester. That's plastic. Like if you really like point out and label everything that's plastic in your home, it's an insane amount of products.
Wow.
And they're just shedding. And then when you throw them in the landfill, then they're leaching in our water system. It's just a huge issue. And so like just being like, here's the alternative, because there's some really great products that exist. You know, there's like materials like linen, there's wool, there's all these like incredible bamboo, incredible 100% organic cotton, you know, like there's just like so many materials that are, just are so much better.
You know, I was having this conversation with my mother because I will say getting my Southern family to change to a non-toxic lifestyle has been a wild ride.
I bet. We have somebody who's Southern on our team and she says it all the time.
Oh,
it's
my
really,
gosh.
that it's really, really hard. Denver, of course, is a whole different bubble.
Right? But Virginia, Southern Virginia is different.
Mm-hmm.
I will say my parents are like always eager to learn and adjust and so like I think I have it a little easier, but I was explaining to them, you know, we have things like Ozempic, right? And that's been out for years and it's treating whatever, and however you feel about Ozempic, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a chance that maybe something can happen in a few years and we didn't know about it. There will never be a time where switching to something natural to the earth will ever be bad for you.
Yep.
There's like not a use case in which using real wood or using real cotton or linen or glass is going to be bad. Yeah. There's actually no downside.
I know.
If we're all wrong and this is all a hoax.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, like,
but we know it's not, because it's like synthetic, not, synthetic chemical material. It's just, it's not, they're not going to be safe. They're like human made and they're not good for you.
That's like,
and they're endocrine disruptors. They're, you know, there's cardiovascular issues with it. There's gut health issues. There's so many things linked to these chemicals.
Been more PCOS, endometriosis, fertility issues, or cancers, and at some point we have to say it has to be the thing that has changed the most in X amount of years. Mm-hmm. And that's how we live and what we were living near and consuming. Yeah. Right? Because at the end of the day, you are consuming that air freshener because it's going into your nasal passage,
which air fresheners are horrible.
Air fresheners are so bad.
Great example. Just like so bad for you.
Just like, why are we spraying things in the air?
It's
we've
crazy.
gone fragrance free except if it's like an essential oil based fragrance. Yeah. And it has made such a difference in my skin, headaches. And I'm like, I can't believe there was a day when I used to take Airwick and just
Yeah.
And just like breathe in that fresh apple cinnamon
Oh my
scent.
gosh, I know.
Like,
I know. We all did. It's like,
Yeah.
that's how we grew up. And that's a term that we do talk about a lot. It's like fragrance and parfum are like the two terms that if you add it to a product, you can add hundreds of undisclosed chemicals. And so it's like, that's why, you really, really want to look at that and be like, okay, does this say it has fragrance in it? Because fragrance doesn't seem like a dangerous term at all.
It doesn't seem like it, but boy, oh boy.
It is, but it's bad. And it's like almost anytime that something's overpowering, so like Bath and Body, you like walk past it and you're just like, whoa.
I can't even walk past it. I will get the biggest migraine.
Yeah. It's like that means there's fragrance and undisclosed chemicals and horrible things for you. So avoid them.
Avoid them.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Dark History, which is Bailey Sarian's podcast, kind of like digging in. She dug into Monsanto's, which is responsible for Teflon and all the Miracle-Gro and all the crap. Like, honestly, responsible for a lot of the problems. But she also did a really great episode about fragrances in the lieu of aphrodisiacs. But one of the biggest things we would add to fragrance would be poop from a certain animal. And everyone was just spraying it on themselves, rubbing it in. And it's like, wait,
so gross.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Wait,
that's what I'm saying. You can just
Like,
put
we're doing
anything
too
in the
much.
product.
Yeah.
You can put anything in them.
Like, and that was just called parfum.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds French.
Yeah.
and
No,
interesting.
exactly.
But it's dung.
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting.
It's so horrible.
So, like, I think it's like similar to all natural flavors.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
If it's so natural, put it on the label.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, add in what are the chemicals related to it?
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the business side because I can talk to you about non-toxic forever. Building a marketplace, what has that process been like? Is it, because I am assuming that you're a non-technical founder.
Yep.
So how has
Correct.
this happened?
Yeah.
I say I'm assuming. I had a lot of
Yeah.
indicators from our conversations, guys. I'm not just being a sexist, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I have a marketing background. So
Which shows like
thank you.
very clearly
Thank
the
you.
branding is phenom. Also, should we shout out that these are SISTAIN real quick?
Yeah, these are SISTAIN.
Yes,
These are
cheers.
SISTAIN glasses. They're twice as strong as regular crystal, and they're actually dishwasher safe. That's why I love them.
Really?
Yeah. So they're like really, really high quality glass that lasts a long time. So they do an ion toughening treatment, so it's still like fully safe, and they're made in Japan.
Okay, we're gonna drop the link in show notes because as a clumsy girly, that is huge.
Game changers.
I'm
Game
tired
changers.
of washing all my glasses by hand. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
don't
too
want
much. I
to
drink
hand
too much
wash
wine for that.
anything, to be honest. So that's like a lot of people ask us, like, we sell a lot of ceramics, and I was like, is this dishwasher safe? Even when it's handmade, people get really nervous, and I'm like, it's all dishwasher safe. Like almost everything we curate is. There's like a few very select items that are hand wash only, but
Wow,
I am too lazy for hand wash.
that's so beautiful.
I'm too busy for hand wash. Like, so
too busy.
But yeah, so marketplace.
Yeah,
so
sorry, the tech.
So actually, when I launched SISTAIN, I started it as an e-commerce where we were buying wholesale and selling that product. So there wasn't the marketplace side of it. We made plans to expand, and we were like, okay, we want to add, bedding now, which comes with tons of SKUs and a really high overhead and lots of colors and all kinds of things. And then we were like, okay, our next thing that we're adding is going to be cookware. It's also really expensive, and there's tons of different types of cookware and bakeware and flatware. And so as we expand, it was really last year that we shifted to only expanding into marketplace dropship, which is when the manufacturer actually ships the product instead of our warehouse. So ultimately it is more sustainable because it's not coming to us and then being shipped to the customer. It's being shipped direct to the customer.
The gas, twice the carbon.
Exactly. So it's also like very aligned with our overall mission and business
it probably
model.
keeps the cost down for customers at the end of the day. It helps with that margin on both ends.
Yeah, 100%. And so yeah, I mean, we live in an age where, marketplace, you don't have to be a technical founder to create a marketplace. There are tons of different, dropship connections and I mean, we do some with that are manual with we have like a virtual assistant who helps coordinate those, but it'll be manual with some of the brands we worked with are very old school and they're not, on Shopify or they're not,
They're
using the tech.
in the woods.
They're like very
They're
old school. They've been around for like 40 years or something. Because they're, when you get into like established cutting boards and established cookware and, these brands who've been around for a really long time, they're not necessarily going to be up with the latest technology. So some of it we do as like manual, so there's all the different vendors that we're connected through. It's like through different paths. But it's like, it's technical and like, we have like different like, workflows and things that are set up and like automating and alerting us if like a package doesn't go out on time or, things like that. So there's definitely a technical side to it. But I wouldn't say it's like, it's not like a B2B SaaS business where
that's great.
You're building like deep tech and
Well, I just was talking to Paige, obviously, and obviously she is doing deep tech space, whatever. And I'm like, hard pass for me, but like so glad someone's doing it. Yeah. No, I like that. I love that you get to focus on what you care about, not just the tech part. But you guys are like rapidly scaling because you did your pop-up. And then found out that e-commerce was way more profitable, which is kind of insane. I don't think that's common. Yeah. Like, and it was gorgeous. But
I think retail is, I think it depends on your brand. And so I think like there's no matter what, there's no like one formula for any business, and so you kind of just have to test. So I'm really glad we tested it. Like we did pop-ups, we did numerous pop-ups and they're all month to month or they were like 3-month leases or, nothing was longer than 3 months.
Which is a miracle.
It's just a smart strategy,
it's
honestly.
So good.
Because it's like, let's test it. Also for us, like, I had moved to Denver only a few years ago. And so building SISTAIN's brand awareness here was really great to do that through pop-ups. And so I'm so glad we did it. But our retail was just like, when we looked at our holiday season, which is always the biggest for us, it was flat from last year's pop-up to this past year's pop-up. And then our e-commerce, 5 times. And so that's where it was just like, okay, this is very clear that we just need to focus on expanding here. It's also, I think, for us, it's always important for all businesses to keep things simple, and clear and focused. But for us, because we have so many SKUs and so many products and we're constantly expanding our portfolio of products, I think it's even more important for us to like really simplify and focus because there's a lot that goes into the marketplace side where, we're reaching out to brands. We're trying to convince them to get on our marketplace.
Right.
There's negotiations. There's like renegotiations. There's just like so much to it. And then there's like shifts where it's like, if they weren't on the tech platform that we're on, but now they're getting on it, then we're shifting that. There's just like a lot of moving pieces constantly. And so that's where I was like, okay, retail is taking too much of my energy and I have to be focused where we're growing.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited about that because it's, we might go back to retail one day where we have a wedding registry already and they're expanding into baby this year.
Yes, you are.
Which I'm really excited about. And so as we expand further into these, like into every area of the home and these registry spaces, I would love to one day have a retail space again where you can go and talk to an employee about all of the different choices and like what's best for you and your family. So I could see it happening once we have more national awareness years from now.
I can see like, at Target now you get the little, well, you don't get the scanner anymore, but I could see like a wooden one or something cool.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Like you could actually build that whole.
You can just build your registry by coming in.
Whole home.
Yeah.
SISTAIN.
I would love that. So that's kind of, I'm not saying no to retail forever.
Yes.
But for right now, I'm like, we have to focus because we're
booming.
Scaling and we're adding portfolio products.
And you're raising money.
Yeah, and raising money.
How much is the goal?
Yeah. $2 million. Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be an aggressive year.
It is going to be an aggressive year, but predicated by all of the amazing work you guys have done. And like, you have really loyal customer base.
Yeah, we do.
Really into you guys, which is the biggest thing. That community is everything.
Yeah. And that's where we're like this year, other than expanding our portfolio, the other focus is education, So like on Instagram, we're going to finally start doing TikTok again.
Didn't you do something with is it EWG?
Yeah, with the Environmental Working Group. We have a partnership with the Environmental Working Group, and then we also have a partnership with B Labs too. And so there is the only tech component that I consider like actual, like this is real tech we're building. Once we close our raise, we are building an AI, or we're deploying an AI, not building it, but deploying an AI copilot on our site so that it'll train consumers to ask questions. You know, when they go to our product pages, like what makes this cookware non-toxic? Like really just like asking questions about the products and brands and anything that's related to non-toxic living. So we are adding that. But the site too will share a lot more education than it has even now.
What's the most popular item that people buy right now?
It's honestly tied between a few different categories. When you look at like, it's like depends on how you cut it, you know? When you look at just like pure volume based like purchases, our dishwashing, like a lot of our long handle dishwashing brush is really, really popular. A lot of our scrubbers are really, really popular. Our dish block, that's a concentrate instead of using a plastic liquid soap, is really popular. So we're selling just so many of those constantly. And then when it comes to like higher end sales volume, it's like our ceramics do perform really, really well. Our handmade ceramics, our matcha. Yeah. So like when we talk about like customer acquisition, ceramics actually is often when people like will get introduced to us, and it's more from an aesthetic perspective, which I think is actually important.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of sustainable marketplaces specifically have taken more of a, let's just capture them through sustainable, products. But then when you go to their site, it's like total chaos. Like you don't even know how to navigate it.
You're like, I don't want that at my house. That looks terrible.
Oh yeah. It's just like total chaos. So we've like always prioritized design because we want to hit not just zero wasters, but this more mass audience. That's purchasing. They're consumers. They're purchasing all the time. It's like, here's a better solution. Here's a plant-based option. Like here's a, just better options across the board versus the conventional items that they're purchasing. That's like our main, target that we're going after. So yeah, that is. So those are the ceramics, and then other categories that are like on the rise. I know cookware is going to sell really well once we add it because we've gotten so much traction from a social media perspective. Like that's how I test before we add products to our portfolio, like throw content out there. So I know cookware, and then we're expanding in our utensils. Our cutting boards are extremely popular. We sell booze blocks, which are like the chef recommended cutting board.
Oh yeah.
And then we have bamboo cutting boards that sell really well too, because people are finally starting to wake up that like plastic cutting boards are so bad, and it's just like literally shutting microplastics into your food.
Literally cutting them into.
And you can see it even. Like usually you can't see microplastics, so it doesn't feel as scary for people, but you can see it.
Literally see the knife marks.
You can see it coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cutting boards perform really, really well.
Are you focusing on ceramic, stainless steel? Are you going more of like the caraway like route where it's like cute ceramic? Where do you guys fall on that spectrum of?
So for cookware specifically, there's a few different like categories that we're going to be expanding into. So one is pure ceramic, so not ceramic coated. So I'm actually not a fan of caraway, to be completely transparent.
Yeah. Because
once the coating breaks, then there's an aluminum core, and then the aluminum's actually really bad for you.
Right.
So it's way better than Teflon. It's way better than nonstick that's coated with PFAS. But it's still, once you break it, once the coating breaks, that's when I would get rid of it. So there's a brand called Extrema that I'm talking to actually tomorrow. So hoping to onboard them, and they're 100% ceramic.
Love that.
So just nothing, and they have so many third-party independent testings that are done, and so they're really, really safe. There's actually glass cookware now, so we'll be expanding into that.
And it's heat.
Heat resistant and everything. And then pure stainless steel, of course, is very safe.
but hard to cook on.
Yeah.
We just made the switch and it's been a challenge.
It is. That's what we're going to share
And
more
we're
educational
really
videos.
We're really good cooks.
Yeah.
So it's been like,
it's a
other people doing
transition
this? Yes.
for sure.
But you can already tell based off how it's cooking, how my old like non-stick pan was so crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing should not stick like that.
No,
you know, like
it shouldn't.
that's not natural.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
So what would be if you could go into fairy godmother into every American's home and switch at just one thing, one starter thing, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Yeah. Give me your fairy godmother, like the dish soap. Is it the...
Honestly, I think there'd be some toss-ups.
Okay.
Like what I recommend to people is like, if you're starting on your non-toxic journey, the number one thing I would focus on is removing plastic. So that's more of a high level goal, you know, and it covers a lot of different areas. But, you know, food storage, a lot of people have plastic containers, and you always have takeout. Takeout containers are even more dangerous because now we found out that there's flame retardants on black plastic.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
why is that a thing?
It's because of e-cycling. It's like electronic cycling. Recycling has been mixed with our regular recycling. It's all bad. But yeah, just starting like from that perspective, I think it's a little easier because then you kind of think like, okay, I need this new thing, so let's just make this swap. So it's a little bit easier to approach.
Right.
But yeah, I would say like that's a big high level kind of, you know, to start removing plastic. And then I would say cookware is a big deal. Like anything that kind of touches food in a hot way is definitely, I mean, that's why we're like focused on expanding there first, because cookware, cooking utensils, like don't use the black plastic, utensils. I wouldn't use any plastic utensils for cooking. Anything hot, you know, is just really dangerous and going to leach a lot faster from a microplastic, leaching perspective. So yeah, we have bamboo utensils, but we're expanding into like stainless steel and some other, some others as well. So, but yeah, I'd say like those are the two big categories, like the cookware, heating, anything heated,
for sure,
and then just starting to remove plastic in every way.
And I would tell people too, it's not about you overhauling your whole life, throwing everything away at one time. Like that is not reasonable for most humans. Most people can't afford that too. That is like way too much to take in mentally at one time. It's
100%.
about, okay, great. I need dish soap. Let me make the swap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. I need this thing, or it's time to buy new sheets or this new rug.
Yeah. Like cutting board.
Cutting board.
Honestly, that's one that I would just toss right away.
So,
if you have a plastic cutting board, like get rid of it.
Throw away the cutting board. That's actually really valid.
Yeah.
Throw away the cutting board, but like slowly make those other swaps. Be intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be one big scary woo-woo thing.
No, and I didn't do that. Like, it's not like I was like all of a sudden like awake to all the problems. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Of moving in with your boyfriend and throwing away his stuff.
Yeah. I know. Well,
I'm very similar. I'm like,
yeah, that one's fun too, because it's like, it reminds me like, oh, this is what almost everybody in America is using. Like they're all using like that Dawn spray. So, like they're all using like these conventional sponges that are actually plastic. And not even cleaning you're cleaning it and then there's microplastic shedding.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun series because it makes me remember like going back to the beginning of my journey of like, what are the swaps you need to make? This is what it's like. Laundry detergent, like all of them.
Okay. So we're nearing the end. So I want to do a little rapid fire.
Okay, great.
Hype on the non-toxic buzzwords. What are the real versus the fake words that you need to look out for?
So definitely look out for, if anything just says like something green or natural, it's probably greenwashing. Definitely. I mean, this is like a non-hype one. This is like an accurate one, but like look out for the fragrance and the perfume. Look out for those terms. That means it is toxic and it has chemicals in it. And then I think, one that I would say is a big hype is like free of PFAS, free of PFOA, free of this and that. You need to dive a little deeper than that.
Okay.
Like I don't love that people are just saying like free of this, this, and this. Because it's like, well, then what is yours made of? Tell me.
That
Like,
part.
tell me. You know, like,
Cool. You don't have that. What
yeah,
else
it's
do you
like,
have?
oh, it's not PFAS, but maybe it's a different version of PFAS that's not called PFAS, because that's what they do. They create like new versions of it. So just like getting a little more curious into like, what is it? Mhm.
Tell us about the brands you're using every day. Like, give us your favorite makeup brand. Who are you using for body wash? Who are you going to for clothes? Where are you buying things? Give the people something they can use for their daily swaps.
Yeah. So we have Bath and Body Care on
So
our
sustain is the answer.
on our site. And we're continuing to expand that because that's another area where there's a lot of toxins, and
Definitely.
and so we're taking like a sustainable approach to it, because a lot of clean beauty isn't actually like sustainable beauty, because there's a lot of plastic packaging and things. So the stuff we sell actually comes in like glass or compostable packaging. So Body Wash Marigold is actually a local brand in Denver. We love her.
She's great.
And so I use her body wash.
Okay.
We have a bar soap that I love that's like mint and rosemary, and it's really hydrating. And then for makeup, I love Kira Weiss. It's organic makeup that is like foundations and things like that, and it's refillable, which is really cool. It comes in refillable palettes. For like shampoo and conditioner, I love Davina's. They're a B Corp certified company, and they're plastic negative. And then for like clothing and things, I shop mostly secondhand.
Love that.
There's definitely some brands that I still love that are sustainable. But yeah, I try really hard to shop secondhand and kind of read the labels and just look at, I try to avoid polyester mostly.
Yeah.
It's hard with yoga clothes and things like that.
So hard.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool like Matt the Label that's like come out with some
Just Redor.
Yeah, there's a few
made of complete bamboo.
Yeah,
super cool.
So I'm still like working on testing some of those and integrating some of those, but yeah, those are some of the dailies.
What is one thing you would recommend for other extremely busy entrepreneurs as yourself to outsource? Like, what's the first thing you have a little extra budget that you're like, get that out of my life?
I mean, the thing that I do is I do have a cleaning person, and that's because my dog brings in so much garbage from outside, inside. So it gets really dusty. So yeah, you want to get the dust out of your house. And that's why, a lot of the non-toxic influencers and things are always talking about like, take your shoes off, like don't bring that stuff inside. So yeah, that's the one thing I do outsource. But if I had even more cash right now, I would probably hire a chef who like shopped organic, and because that's my biggest thing is I do a lot of takeout because I'm so busy, and then I know what's in the takeout containers, and it always freaks me out. I'm like, I'm still consuming this. And so like if I have, when I have more cash in the bank, that's something that I would outsource.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And what is one thing if we were to walk into your home, we will never see?
I mean, you would never see Teflon.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely never. That was like the fruit with my boyfriend's house. I was like, immediately, this is gone.
And then made a video. Yeah. It's like, goodbye.
This is gone.
Jaclyn, thank you so much for coming. I love this conversation because it's a passion point for me, but I love that you took it even further and made it accessible for people. Can you tell people where they can find you, where they can shop? And there's maybe just like a little hint about a couple of things that are on the horizon. Like, I know you said baby, do you have any timelines? Just tell us the things.
Yeah. So you can find us at thesistain.com. So sustain is SISTAIN, thesistain.com. And then our Instagram handle is sustain. So yeah, you can always reach out to us there, or hello@thesistain.com. And then some things on the horizon. I mean, we're launching our own podcast soon.
Love that.
So we're really excited. We're like bringing it back. We had one for a little bit, but this is a more non-toxic lens. So talking to doctors and things like that. So that'll be really fun. And then in terms of expanding into categories, we're expanding into cookware, flatware, knives, lots more cutting boards and more options than right now. We have like wood and bamboo, but we're going to add, steel cutting boards, glass cutting boards. Like there's all kinds of different ones. We're going to add a lot of different small appliances like humidifiers that are not plastic, air filtrations. I get asked about water filtrations a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
So adding a lot of that, like just things that are really setting you up for a non-toxic home is where we're expanding. And then we're expanding into baby too. So I'm so excited for that because that is often where people start their journey is they're having their first baby and all of a sudden they're waking up to what is in their cleaning products and what is in their soaps that they're using and what's on their carpets and, all kinds of stuff. So we're expanding to rugs and furniture this year and then into baby, and it'll be on all non-toxic. So it'll be, bottles that are made of glass and there's all kinds of stuff in that category. So I'm really, really excited to expand into that space.
I'm so excited too. We will definitely make sure that we highlight when cookware and baby comes out, but also subscribe to your newsletter because you guys do drops there too. So that's a great way to know what's going on.
Yeah, and we're always writing new editorials too, like based on new scientific research that's out there. So
I appreciate you keep me hip.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Jaclyn.
Thank you so much, Kristin. Hey.
That's a wrap for today's episode of More Than the Hype. If you love this conversation, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It helps way more than you know. Until next time, stay bold, stay real, and keep chasing the hype.